pocket. We're going to kind of go through how to build a good deck and all the good stuff kind of that entails. I really feel like this is something I've seen a lot of people struggling with this right now, and this is something I really want to try to help some people out with. So this is kind of a dumbed down version of the game, the TCG Live kind of version, but it is still super playable. So yeah, let me see if hopefully I'm in the right one now. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, cool. So sorry about that for anybody that was here on the original one. I'm gonna have to go in and delete that here pretty soon, because I definitely don't want to have that showing as something that's going on. I don't know what it is about my cat, but whenever I get on filming videos, he likes to make a whole bunch of noise in the background and get all hyped up. So, okay. I saw your message right at the end as I was canceling it. The problem was, Team Pokemon, I didn't want to have the video have no sound for like multiple minutes, so when people come in to watch later on, they're gonna be probably kind of pissed off that there's no sound. I'm literally just sitting there talking to myself and nobody can hear me. So yeah, it's one of those. I'm gonna go back and delete that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and delete that video right now real quick. Go into my videos, and yeah, this one right here, delete. There we go. Yeah, because that's just was not great. So yeah, it was one of those. But anyway, so I really want to get into this and kind of show people how I build my decks and show what I think is really. So I don't use these rental decks. I've never even really looked at the rental decks. I'll pop in there real quick. So they got these pre-made decks. I don't mess with that. I'm a firm believer in the way that I build these decks is very oriented to get out, do damage early, set basic Pokemon out there. So like in this deck, Hitmonchan is one of my favorite ones to get out early. The reason I like to get him out early, for 1 energy cost, he's doing that jab for 30. If they're weak to that, you know, it could be 50 that he's hitting for. So this, to me, super important. Get guys out like this. Do not put Pokemon like this guy out first. You put him out first, somebody like me comes along, and I'm doing damage right away to this guy. And while I'm doing damage to this guy, he's still stacking energy. So it's one of those things where I really, and then plus, if he dies, your opponent gets 2 prize cards, where you're only going to get 1. So typically EXs, I feel like they're the guys that you're kind of building up in the backfield, and then they finish the game. So if one thing I can really stress to everybody that's playing this and wants to learn how to play this, don't put your EX Pokemon, don't put your guys that take a lot of time to build up front. You could if they're maybe a basic Pokemon, and then you're just stacking everybody up in the backfield. I've done that way as well, like with like a Snorlax. I put a Snorlax up front. I don't put any energy on him. I just let him sit up there and take hits. So that's a way to think about it. Another thing I don't do is when I run a deck that's like a fighting deck, I don't run too much that's not in the fighting category. So I like to run the Pidgeys and things like this. This Drive Off is a great, simplified kind of boss's orders type thing. This ability is a really good ability. If I'm going to suggest anything to have in your deck other than whatever you're running, this is one that really I think is a good type Pokemon to have to help assist. Another thing, I like to run the Porygon. I don't know if you guys have the Porygon, but you know, Porygon tends to be one of them that really, his ability, data scan, you get to kind of see the next card that's getting ready to come out of your deck. That's real helpful. It helps you decide what you want to do and makes you really ready to make your next play, so to speak. I run Pokeballs. I run 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, and 2 Giovanni's in almost every single deck. I think that's super important. Again, I'll kind of go through some of these real quick and show you. I don't really like running stuff like this. I'm sure I'm going to replace him, but I do like this ability to an extent. If I had to use it, it's something that can at least slow some gameplay for the other player. Not a huge fan of this one either for a basic. I don't really care for Pokemon that have 2 energy costs to do lesser damage like that. Like if you're doing 2 energy costs, you better be doing 60 damage, you know? You better be doing 80 damage. You better be doing something big. So this Seadra, I like to run this in this deck. I think this is a nice little easy setup to get him going. I'll usually set the Seadra in the backfield. I won't play him up front. I'll typically try to play either this guy, if I can. I'll try to play him up front and then get into Powdered Snow real quick. So those are things that I like to kind of get into. Snorlax, see on this one I actually have Snorlax, and sometimes I'll throw him out front to just sit up there and take some big damage, so he can sit and get hit quite a few times by somebody's basic Pokemon. If I'm in a pinch, this Farfetch'd, a lot of people are going to have access to Farfetch'd fairly early. For 1 cost, 40 damage is really good. I feel like that's a really nice thing to have there, ability to have there. I need to fix this up. I think I've got some stuff I need to add to this one, but I'll maybe go through and do that later. But so that's kind of the basics of how I like to play it. I'm going to get into some gameplay, and then hopefully I'll get some people in here that have some questions about some of how I play. Man, my cat, I swear, my cat knows whenever I go live, and he literally thinks it's playtime. He's got his toys out and attacking them and running around the house. You probably hear a little skidding around in the house. He's literally skidding around the floor, just psycho, running around. Great times. Man, I'm getting all these YouTube notifications as well. It's crazy. So let me see, how many viewers do I got live right now? So I got 6. That's awesome. So hopefully some of you guys got some questions and things like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into a battle. We'll do a random match just to see. I really do like this deck right here, so we'll play this. I think a lot of people want to play like Pikachu type decks. The Pikachu on this one is pretty fancy. Man, I'm telling you, everybody's posting their okay, I got alarm getting go off and everything. Everybody's posting their YouTube videos at the same time. So right here, so if you look at these, for me, the one that I want to get out, probably him, because I see I've got his upgrade, and then that damage is actually pretty nice. I'll probably go ahead and throw my Eevee down as a backup, and then we'll start battle. So see, this guy already kind of messed up. He set Pokemon up front that only does 30 damage, and he's got to get 2 energy to do anything. So not a huge fan. I got my Jolteon, so now I'm going to be able to upgrade him. So this is going to pretty well take off. I don't like that I had to go first. Play real life cards. Noon is a great time for algorithm for everyone. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, noon is a great time to kind of everybody's people that are at work or potentially around lunchtime. They can maybe watch a video. People at school might be at lunchtime. They can watch videos, and then anybody that's at home, you know, this is a time where people might be taking a break. So yeah, but yeah. So right here. I'm going to be able to smack some good stuff down. I'll drop my Pokeball and see what I can come up with there real quick. Okay, so this is something I was talking about. Man, I'll tell you what, I've been getting more messages. Drop oh, I shouldn't have done that. See, that was a misplay. And that's something that can bite you bad. I shouldn't have done that. I should have took the hit that I could get on him. But I guess I'll do this to try to hopefully disrupt him a little bit. And all it's going to do is make him go from 4 to 3 cards. So I might have actually helped him out. Data scan. See, and that's the other thing. When you get into this, music's tiny loud. All right, let me turn that down. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you for that. Yeah, the thing with this, you're gonna make misplays. The one thing that really sucks about these kind of games, once you make a play, there's no getting it back. So like I can't do anything but retreat. That retreat ain't gonna do anything but wasting energy for me. So I'm probably about to take my medicine and take a 30 hit here. But the good thing is if you look at my attack, his attack's only gonna do 30 plus, what is it? Pokemon takes 20%. Okay, so it takes 20 less damage. So I potentially could dish out 80 damage this time. So that now I can only max out at 60 damage. So I kind of screwed myself up, and that's what I get for that. So, you know, one of those things. Sometimes you misplay. So there it is. I would have got 80. I could have killed that guy if I wouldn't have misplayed. Well, I guess technically I would have hit him for 20 last time, and then I'd hit him for 8. Needless to say, I would have killed him. He would have, I'd be sitting in the same amount of health, but I would have killed him. If I would have hit him with the 20 last time and then upgraded my card this time, it would have been the better route. Now he's going to get to smack me again for another 30. And yeah. Now, only if I get lucky here am I going to be able to do the additional damage. Put it on him. So this way he'll be ready to attack the next turn. If for some reason this doesn't go, I'll go ahead and put him down. He's probably going to die here soon. The likelihood is pretty high. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. He's still going to die, so yeah. So my next turn, my Jolteon will be ready to go. So one of the real important things, this is very important, the sooner you can start taking prizes from them, the better. See, now he's got another Pokemon up there that he can't really do his big hits. So he can only do, well, I guess he got some energy out there pretty quick. So he can do 50. So 50 is not great. He's got 150. He's got to stack some more energy up. Now he may have some stuff that can help build that energy up pretty quickly. And then, kind of with the Jolteon, there's a little bit of a luck factor here. You know, when you get into this, you really. So he's got 5 cards over there. I'm gonna say, no, sir. You've now got 3 cards. Hope you didn't like those, or hope you really like those cards actually. I'll drop there on there. Do my data search. See what's coming up next. Possibly, I'm gonna say possibly a Pikachu. The one thing with Pikachu, you get your damage is based on how many electric Pokemon on the board. So if you're kind of going to lean into a Pikachu attack, you kind of want to not play the Porygon down or the, whatchamacallit. Oh, come on, give me some more. Did a decent amount of damage. So if I get that same attack next time, I'll kill him. So his best hope now is that he can stack up and get that 150 damage and take me out. If he does that, he might have game. He might actually have game if he does that. So, yeah, it's one of those where this is a pretty strong deck we're playing here. This is not, you know, this Psychic deck is actually a pretty strong deck. With Mewtwo, it's one of the stronger decks out there. So he's trying to hit me for 60 most likely. Yeah, he's going to hit for 60. Unless there's some way, I don't think there's any way. Yeah, so 60's pretty stout hit. I mean, it definitely does some damage. I'm going to be able to attach an energy to him and get ready for my next attack. See, we're kind of ahead right now, so if I can get lucky and land the same thing I did last time and hit for 80, we'll take him out. Now, you would think that my best move would be go straight to Pikachu. I don't think that's necessarily the best move, but I'll do it just to show. Like, I really should have gone with the other guy. Okay, so I got a Giovanni coming up next. All right, here's my hope. Hopefully my pin missile will get at least 2 of them. There's one. Come on, one more. There it is. Okay, he's done. Wow, I smacked him hard. So Jolteon is way OP when he hits. So, bam. Now we're ahead by 2. I don't think anything he's got there is going to be able to do enough. Oh yeah, it does. That was an EX. Yeah, so there you go. I forgot he was an EX. So now you can kind of see. those are kind of the main gameplays. He kind of misplayed it first. I misplayed early, but luckily my misplay wasn't quite as bad as his. He wasn't able to put damage on me quick enough, and it kind of started out not in his favor. So that's a really good deck right there, though. That deck that I just played is a really good deck. I'll go into another one of my decks that I like. I actually just created it last night and kind of talked through what's going on. Actually, here, let me go into this deck real quick. I'll go into the electric one and show you kind of how I run that. We'll go in and talk about some of the decks real quick. So the electric, I run, well, let me look at this a second. Okay, so I only run one of the, I'm trying to remember the names of them. Run one of the Tynamo, yeah. Run one of the Tynamo, one of the electric, and then one of the Electros. Yeah. Anyways, I run one of each of those. That one, that third or the second evolution, that's a pretty tough. I don't like having 3 energies dedicated to only get 80, but he does have a pretty stout ability. So if you paralyze the enemy, that's pretty good. So yeah. So one thing I was talking about, Pikachu. This attack does 30 damage for each of your benched Pokemon, benched electric Pokemon. So that's something you got to think about too. If you're going to run Pikachu and you're thinking about, you want to make him be your primary attacker in your deck for that round, you probably don't want to put your Porygon out there. You don't want to put anything that's going to hinder you getting 3 benched Pokemon, electric benched Pokemon. So that's something to think about. So I just built this one last night. Again, 20, not great on the front with him. He's a good base Pokemon. This is a good Pokemon to start off with. Scyther has 30 damage, really nice. This one can heal damage. That's kind of cool too. So like if you put him out, you can usually feel pretty comfortable. So the Venonat goes into the Venomoth. The Venomoth, for only one, look at that, only 1 energy, you can poison the opponent's Pokemon. So you're actually doing 40 damage, plus when they end their turn, they're doing 10 more damage, and then, it stacks. It's really, this is a good Pokemon. He actually does a lot. This is one I will never, ever, ever, ever want to put up front. If I absolutely had to put him up front, I would, but this guy can do some major damage. With, you can see he can do 100 damage. With only 90 HP, he can do up to 100 damage, so that's pretty good. The Lilligant, take 1 energy from the energy zone and attach to 1 of your bench Pokemon. That's kind of cool too, especially if you're trying to build up something big like the Venusaur. So Venusaur, you're always going to want to try to build him in the backfield. You really don't want to try to run him unless, if you get stuck and you have to run Bulbasaur, you can see like Bulbasaur's you got to attach 2 energies to be able to do an attack. So basically, you really don't, this one's got to have 3, and the lowest version of Venusaur has to have 3. So really, that's something you need to know, is you want to be building these guys up in the backfield. You don't want to run them up front. Again, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Giovanni, and 1 red card in here. So I'm going to go ahead and run this deck just to kind of show how this plays. Let you guys see. Versus random match. Switch to various. Got a match pretty quick. Mechanopoly. I'm kind of okay with going second too. Like, it's one of those things where I'm not the most upset about going second in this game. So right here, see how I've really only got 1 choice to set up, but this is a good Pokemon to start out front. likelihood they're playing fire is kind of low. I feel like a lot of people are playing electric or psychic. Like if you watch, it's going to be a lot of electric or psychic. Occasionally you'll see like a fighting type. Oh, you got a water deck. Which, that's not going to be strong to me, so no stronger. And again, this guy kind of screwed himself. So this Pokemon, he's going to end up throwing a lot of energy at this Pokemon. He only has 100 HP, and he's got to have at least 3 extra energies to do 70 more damage. So he's got to have 4 energies on this thing to do any more than 20 damage at a time. It's such a waste of time for me. Now I can do this, put a Giovanni down, put a Pokeball, maybe grab something interesting, start building. Sure, why not? Drop him down. I really need to get a Bulbasaur down soon. But I'm going to tackle for 30. I've already knocked him down, and I got another Giovanni, so I'm going to attack him for 30 again when he comes back. The chance that I potentially could have an evolution here on this is going to be, you know, higher than by the time he's going to get to where he can smack for more than 20 damage at a time. And then I'll also have this other Pokemon built up by then as well. So it's really not a good idea to start like that. So in my opinion, this guy's misplayed very badly. Now this Starmie or whatever it is in the background, that's a pretty tough Pokemon. I think I'm gonna go ahead and see where I like that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick energy on them, so I'll be ready to do that. Oh, yep. See, that's another thing I like about this game. It lets you know, don't do it. Don't do it. Attack 30 again. Now hopefully I'll get the evolution on this next turn, and I'll get to poison him and take him out before he even takes out my first Pokemon. So now granted, his Pokemon is only a basic, so opponent's slowing down. Hope he's not quitting on me. Please don't quit. Please don't quit, man. Maybe they've realized they've kind of misplayed. Or maybe they're just quitting. I don't know. Maybe they're just taking for it. Oh, no, he's fine. Oh, there you go. That's something I didn't take into consideration. They can't heal. But what he should be doing is he should be stacking energy on one of the other Pokemon back there. There you go. Okay. He's playing smart. He's playing smart. Because at this point, you know, all that guy's doing is being a shield. So here's another little fun tactic that I don't think everybody talks about. So this guy only has 1 retreat cost. So instead of just dying, letting him die, I'll pull this guy up there. I'm not going to put the pincer down. You know what? I will put the pincer down because actually this guy's going to be alive long enough. And I can add energy from it. Which one? Man, I really needed what you call it? Giovanni there. I could have took him out. Now he's stacking energies. So, but it's all right. So this is a nice Pokemon here because look, taking energy from energy zone attached to one of your best Pokemon. So while I'm doing my 50 damage, potentially more if they're weak. Maybe 60 if I got my Giovanni. I'm able to just stack up extra energy in the backfield. So basically, I can get 2 every turn. They're going to be getting frustrated, especially kind of damage. So let's see what this guy can do. So realistically, even if this guy gets built up to 80, he can't one-hit smack me. Now, I guess he could one-hit smack me after this guy hits me for 20. Oh, that really hurt him. Put it off. So we'll do that. And we'll this. He's going to probably bring the other guy up, which is going to do 80 damage, which is fine. Because then I'm probably going to slide the pincer up, who has 90. Oh, he does 10 damage. Inching away at my other one, so I need to take him out pretty quick. 140. So potentially I could take him out in 2 hits from my pincer. Man, he's slow playing me. So again, your idea here would probably be to sit here and let him take a card or take a hit on me. You know, he can't take me out here. I can put 50 damage on him. You know what? I think I'm going to actually do that. This is going to be one of those cases where I stand there and take the damage because I'm going to be able to. He's going to hit for 80 unless he's got a Giovanni. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and hit him with this. Oh. I need to attach my iPod. So that'll put him at 90. Potentially I could kill him with one shot from the other. So he's gonna have to. He's gonna get two. He's gonna get 2 prizes right here. This is kind of me taking a gamble. There's a life. Oh boy, what's that? This Pokemon takes maybe 10 damage from stack. Okay, so he didn't switch him out, so that was huge. I thought maybe he was gonna maybe switch him out or something. So I'll put him up. Now if I can get lucky, when I flip this coin, this is kind of an all-in play right here. This is basically 50-50. This either I win or he wins by this one coin flip. This is it. Oh, we lost. We lost this one flip. Dang it. So you can see though, realistically I took a little bit of a gamble there. No reason. He's slow playing anyways. He'd probably like add a bunch of energy and all kinds of stuff. We lost. That was a solid deck. I really feel like I played that about as well as I could have. I don't feel like I really had too much misplays there. Let me see, let's go with a different deck here. We got some missions complete. So really important though, when you're thinking about these decks, you want to have the basic Pokemon. Let me go into So you want to have basic Pokemon that do a decent amount of damage. So, like in the grass type Pokemon, put a random Pokemon from your deck in your hand. Not really. I don't want him sitting up front with only 50 health to do that. Bug Bite 30 for 2. No, don't want him up front. So these are guys I probably wouldn't even play in my deck. Weedle and Kakuna, neither one of those are kind of going to be something. I don't know what the base version of that one is. But you can see, like this one, he's smacking for 20 with 1. This one, smacking for 30 plus poison with 1. I really like him. He's smacking for 30, so you can see kind of where my mindset's at. This one's not terrible, even though it's only 10. But then you get to this and he's only hitting for 40, so I'm not really a fan of that. Maybe there's another evolution of that, I can't remember. Fire, we'll move into the fire. Vulpix, flip a coin, defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn, so that's actually kind of good. So that one being up front is not a bad deal. And then if you got 2 energy, you discard one energy from this Pokemon. The only bad thing I say about that, the good thing is you're doing 90 damage. That's a whole lot of damage in this game. The bad thing about that is you can't really build up any other Pokemon behind him with that. So that's something to think about. Not a big fan of the Growlithe. I know there's a lot of big Growlithe fans out there in the Arcanine. Just not a good play right now. I do think the Ponyta and the Rapidash are both really good, solid Pokemon. 100 HP, hitting for 40. Those are nice to get out there early. The Heatmore, very good to get out early. This guy's doing decent damage early, really good. I like the Salandit. I guess it's Salandit because it's kind of like a salamander. And then the Salazzle. I like both of those. Those are both solid cards. This one, not so solid. Oops, I didn't do that. And definitely this, do not like this one. Wasted Pokemon if you ask me. So big time issues there. Squirtle, solid. 20 Water Gun, solid. 40 Wave Splash, very solid for that, for the evolution. I thought I had the Blastoise, but I'm not sure I do. Yeah, I don't have a Blastoise, so yeah. Hopefully I can get that built up. These are solid though. I run these guys, the Squirtle and the Wartortle. I won't run those in my water deck. Yeah, my water deck is actually kind of one of my weaker ones. I do love this Seadra. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You get to snipe a Pokemon. So if they've got a Pokemon sitting in the backfield they're trying to build up, hit them for 50. Sometimes they got basic Pokemon sitting back there. You can get a prize card with that. His the ability to snipe with him late game is incredible. This Pokemon, Goldeen, sucks. Flop sucks. But you get to this one and flip a coin, this attack does nothing. So that 80 though, for 1 energy, if that thing hits, that is devastating. It's devastating. It's a hard smack. Yeah, this one's pretty tough too. This Bruxish. Second strike, that one's actually a pretty good one. Pretty good attack. I don't even know what this one is. Rain Splash. I mean, to me, this is a good Pokemon to throw out front. 70 HP, solid HP. You're hitting for 30 for 1. That's a solid one to put out front. This one is one you build up in the backfield. Smack late game with that one. That one really works. And then this one's a pretty solid one too. You can put them to sleep and everything for 2 energy. So I haven't really looked through my electric lately since I've gained a couple cards. Discard all energy from this Pokemon for 140 damage. If you have a way to build up energy quickly, then maybe that would be a good Pokemon, but first impression, no. Terrible card. You're throwing away energy. Energy is so precious on this game. You cannot afford to be just throwing away energy. Electrode, I don't know why, but Electrode it's got to be one of the worst Pokemon of all time. Look at this. I mean, it's got, if you can get 2 energy on it, doing 70 is pretty good. But, man, they just never do him any justice. He's such a crap Pokemon. Electabuzz, this one's pretty solid, I feel like. Flip a coin if heads does 40 damage. 40 more damage if tails. Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. So that's kind of crazy. Hopefully you don't get tails, but it seems like the heads and tails on this game aren't as they don't seem as likely as you would think. It doesn't seem like it's 50-50 to me. It seems like it's pretty much like, okay, I'll get the heads this time and I'll get the tails next time. It's pretty, yeah. Jolteon, you guys maybe saw me playing this. Very interesting card. Flip 4 coins. Does 4 damage for each heads. Or 40 damage for each heads. I mean, we saw it hit perfect earlier. That was 160 damage. That's pretty much knocking most everything out in this game. So, really cool. I think this one's actually kind of about the same. This attack does 30 damage to... Oh, no, this one's bad. Yeah. I don't know why you would want to do this. Why you'd want to add 30 damage to yours. So, I'll probably never play Zapdos. Decent. Does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's okay, yeah. I mean, for one energy, not too bad. We looked at this one earlier. This one's really good. 40's still pretty good, having 80 HP. This one, if you've got the energy stacked up, that card's actually pretty good. That attack, flip a coin and you can paralyze your opponent's Pokemon pretty good. He's a nice one to start out with. You can start smacking with 20 and then you can get out where you're smacking potentially up to 80. Same thing with him. If you put him in the backfield, typically he's like a guy I like to have as my secondary. So I'll throw a basic, like that one guy we just looked at. I'll throw him out, get him set up, and then my extra energy I'll start throwing on this guy. The paralyzed is really nice. So I haven't played much of the Psychic. I've really not built too much of the Psychic decks, so kind of looking at these here. Slap, decent. 40, decent. So I would probably run them. Teleports, which Pokemon, okay. Sure. Probably gotta have the rest of them. Already not liking the Slowpoke Tail Whip for 30, that's not very great. And then, yeah, so Slowpoke, not probably playing them. Suffocating Gas, pretty decent. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponents can't use any support cards from their hand. That is crucial. That is crucial right there. So, really hoping I get the Haunter soon because I would love to be able to run that. That is vicious. That is a vicious thing. So once you move him up, if he's built up, you're hitting for 100 and you're stopping them from using their say Giovanni's or their Professor's Research or whatever. Yeah, that's huge. Mr. Mime. I mean, he's not somebody I would put out right away, but I would play him in the deck. I would try to not have him out front right away. Later in the game, this could be pretty impressive. You know, that could be Jinx later in the game could really do some damage. We've all seen Mewtwo, so this is the Mewtwo. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon to do 120 damage. Man, that's a lot of work to get 4 energies to him to begin with. If you have a way, I think that one of these has I think it might be this one. Once during your turn, and attach it to the Pokemon in the active spot. So, if he's up front, you can fluff him with her in the backfield. You have her dropping 1 energy and then attaching an energy, so you can keep smacking with that 120. So that might not be bad. That sort of looks a little cracked. Same thing here with this one, but he does 150. The only problem with this, and this is something to look at, he's an EX, so if you lose him, you take 2 prize cards. This guy's got 30 less HP, but if you lose him, they only take 1 prize card. So that's stuff to think about. Ram, terrible ability. Smack, not really great. But this, you move to this, pretty good. Even the 60 damage is not bad, so pretty cool. Not really a fan. Okay, Heart Stamp, strong attack, 60 damage. That's pretty intense. So he's somebody I would definitely recommend running in your deck. Mega Punch for 50, waste. Wouldn't use him. Flip 2 coins, this attack does. Okay, whoa. I guess if you could build him up in the background and you could get him to this, yeah, 200 damage, pretty stout. So I don't think I would run it. That seems a little too risky because I think this is one of those, yeah, so you have to get a heads to get 100 damage. So potentially you could flip 2 coins and get 2 tails and not hit for anything, and then you're just standing there looking like a doofus. So the retreat cost is 4 too. Like, no. I don't recommend running that character. It's not somebody I'm a fan of. This is a good one right here. Scratch for 10 is terrible, but moves to the slash for 70 really quick with 100 HP. That's a stout Pokemon right there. 20. Then we move to this. 40 for dig. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects attacks done to this Pokemon. So that thing can kind of make itself a wall, so to speak. Pretty interesting. I would say he might be worth running. I don't have this stuff to be able to run my Machamp. One of my favorite, this is my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, even though he got punked in Gen 1 all the time in the TV series. This is another one of my favorites from Gen 1. I love Onyx too. So, let's see here. Golem. Pokemon does fit. No way. Not even a chance I'd marry that. Marowak is probably one of the most broken Pokemon in the game. This is actually a decent one right here to kind of sit and wait for your Marowak. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do less damage. So if they only do 20 damage, you're not taking any damage. So that's kind of cool. Not sure how I feel about this one. I run this in my other deck, and in my fighting deck. This attack does 30 damage from one of your Pokemon, or to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So you get to kind of snipe one benched Pokemon. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, but it's also one of those that I'd rather just run him and hit 30 to the guy that's standing in front of me. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's see, Rhyhorn, 60. I don't like that. Three energies, unless the Rhydon has a really stout Horn Drill for 100. I don't know that I feel like that's great. That seems like a lot of energy invested towards that, but it is a solid 100 when you get it. So there is that. Yeah, I'm not gonna probably run that. This one I do run. Pound for 20, that's decent. It's not great. Then the Spiral Kick for 40. Decent, not great. But enough that I'll run it. The Clobbopus. Just pulled an illustration rare on the Clobbopus the other day. Really cool card though, out of Surging Sparks, the illustration rare. Knuckle Punch 30, that's pretty decent. And then let's see what we got here for the Graplock. 70, switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. The opponent chooses the new active Pokemon. I mean, what would be really cool is if you knocked it out, and then I'd rather just knock it out. I don't know that I care for that ability as much. I guess it would work if you got somebody in front of you you really don't want in front of you, and maybe you can force something up front. But realistically, I don't know that that's really the most devastating. Bite 20, okay. 60 during your opponent's next turn, defending Pokemon can't retreat. Kind of cool right there. That could potentially put them in a spot where they're trapped and trying to do a play and they can't do it. Or like me, if I know I'm about to lose a Pokemon, I'll try to make them retreat and switch out to somebody with higher health. I'd do whatever I can to not lose any cards. So yeah. Peck, Bite, so Nidorina. Okay, so it's probably about the same. So I think both the Nidoran and I forget what the basic one is of the girl. Looks like they're both doing 20. They're both doing 30, and then oh no, he's doing 40. Okay, so okay, whatever. Not a big fan of this one either. Zubat 10. I run this in this one. The wing attack 40. That's decent. So I mean, I run one of each of those in there. Grimer, I forget what he evolves into, but yeah, I do actually like that. This is realistically, this is actually hitting for 20. Plus, it's an ongoing 10 every time. So I would run this. This is not a bad idea. You know, poisoning your enemies is always a good thing in my opinion. Coughing, great. Suffocating gases is 20. Because when you get into this, once during your turn, you can poison the opponent's active Pokemon, and then do your 30 attack for 1 energy. So you can be really stacking other stuff up. Great. From Metal Decks. Flip a coin and discard random energy. This is a good one. So for somebody to start out up front, you can literally just be taking energies away from people. Very, very nice. Make them really struggle to put damage on you. This guy's really good. Pierce for 30. He's only got 50 HP, but that Pierce is nice. And then if you get into this, Metal Claw for 70 is really good. Dragonite, Dratini, 40 for Ram, not great. Tail Smack for 80, not great. I don't have the Dragonite right now, so. Pidgey, I don't use these as attacks whatsoever. I don't bring these guys up for attacking situations because all I'm trying to do is get to the Pidgeot, keep him in my backfield for the most part. I've used him to win games with that wing attack for 70. It's a good attack at that point. But that drive off ability is so nice. It's like I've said, it's kind of like a mini boss's orders. Really nice play. Rattata, Gnaw for 20s, okay. And Bite for 40s, okay. If you're running, we're down into the colorless right now. If you're running colorless, I feel like there's some good stuff in here. Farfetch'd is really good. That Leak Slap for 40, really good. Jigglypuff, not really a big fan of this one. I think I run it in my colorless deck. It's okay. I don't like having to have 2 energy to start attacking. Payday, draw a card. I mean, doing 10 damage and draw a card early game might be worth it. Doduo Peck 20, nah. Drill Peck 40. I suppose, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're gonna run those, that's good. Licky Tongue. The only thing I could say for him, if you're gonna run him, you want to build him up in the backfield. You don't want to run him early game. Same thing with the Chansey. You want to build them up in the backfield and bring them out later in the game. This is a pretty solid card right here. Probably one of my favorite cards that I have right now. I really like that. So you can do 60 damage for 1. I like to flip a coin on that one. I guess you could get screwed over. Ditto's really cool too. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon attacks and use it as this attack. If this Pokemon doesn't have the necessary energy to use that attack, this attack does nothing. Now what that means, that is a really complicated thing. It doesn't seem like it's very complicated. You figure, oh, I can just throw whatever energy on there. If you're fighting an electric Pokemon and it uses electric to attack, you have to have electric energy attached to this guy to do his electric attacks. So, yeah, that can kind of be troublesome. For some reason you're facing somebody that's got an attack that's just a colorless attack, then great, you can do it. I've used it and I've made it work and I've really smacked some people with some stuff, but harder to use than you'd think. So, something to think about. The Eevees, all tackle is 20. We go to that Jolteon. That Jolteon is broken. Porygon, even the basic one, that Data King is really nice. Not anybody I'd be attacking with. Aerodactyl, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon into their deck. That's a waste. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's... I guess if somebody had like a Mewtwo or something that was like stacking major energy, that's kind of... You need to be doing damage. Making a flip Pokemon back is not doing anything. This one, rollout 70. The only reason you got this guy in your deck is just to stall. The only reason you put him out front is just to stall. He's taking damage while you're building stuff up in the backfield. And you only lose one prize card for losing him, so really solid. Smack 20, not bad, not great. But this attack does 30 damage for each of your bench Pokemon. So this guy, if you got 3 Pokemon on your bench, he's doing 90. That's a wicked attack. So late game, he's doing some vicious things. I really like that. 30 with 2 energy, not a huge fan. 80 with 3 energy, I mean, it works. Desperate times, I guess. Erica, heal damage for your leaf Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed the leaf Pokemon seem to heal themselves a lot. I think that's kind of cool. You're running that, but I mean, you face a fire deck, you're gonna be in trouble. So, Giovanni, one of the best cards in the game right now. 10 extra damage can be the difference between whether you win a game or lose a game. So, huge. Brock, take a fighting energy from your energy zone and attach it to Golem or Onyx. I'm not running any Golem decks or Onyx decks. If I was, that might be kind of cool. Switch out your... So this is kind of... The Sabrina's kind of like a little bit like a Boss's Orders. It's kind of the same thing as that Pidgeot. I'd rather just run the Pidgeot than run her in my deck. But it's kind of like a simplified Boss's Orders. The only problem is... So, and then these are just kind of my special illustration rares or whatever you want to call them. So, Hydro Pump. I'm not a huge fan of this Pokemon. It's more of a stall than anything, if you ask me. Yeah, I should be running that in my one deck. Oh, I guess I do got a Dragonite. So, Dragonite, 4 energy. One of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 4 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 damage to it. That's interesting. So is that doing 200 damage? I think it's doing 200 damage and it's just randomly dropping 50 bombs. I might have to build a deck with this just to see. I'd love to see that smack around and do some serious damage. That might be pretty fun. So we'll have to see how that works out. It seems like a little bit complicated, but to smack 200 damage all over the board like that, it's pretty fancy. We already looked at this one, so we won't talk about that. Put your Muck or Weezing. There we go. That's the... Sorry, I'm a little tired. Muck or Weezing in the active spot into your hand. So maybe you had some damage on those guys and you want to pull them back in your hand and recover from the damage. That's kind of good. The top 3 cards of your deck. I'd rather just run the Porygon and look at them 1 card at a time. At least you kind of got a little bit of a heads up. 3 cards is... You don't need to see that far ahead in this game. There's no reason for that. Pokeball, absolutely great card to run. I run 2, definitely 2. Red card. If you run 1 in your deck, I don't think it's a bad thing. Running 2, I do it in 1 or 2 of my decks. Running 2 of them is almost a little overkill because you could have something else in there. But it is nice if somebody's got like 5, 6, 7 cards in their hand. You can really disrupt and get all those out of their hand and potentially make some big issues. Professor's Research, draw 2 cards. Why aren't you running 2 in there? No reason not to run 2. Gentle Slap, 60. Not a big fan. Wouldn't run it. Lapras EX. That's actually kind of a decent one late game. He'd be a nice one to have up front late game, hitting for 80 and healing 20 damage every time. So he'd be really hard to kill. No, at 20, it's a better version of I guess it's not. It's the same version. Yeah. So these are just kind of promo cards. So needless to say, I really kind of wanted to go through on that and kind of talk about each of these cards. And there's plenty of cards that I don't have right now, and there's probably some cards that you guys have, and I'd love to hear in the comments if you guys got some decks that you maybe are working on trying to build, and you're struggling with some stuff. I'd love to try to help you out with that and come up with some ideas that would make things maybe flow better for you. So again, if you got some questions, please feel free to ask, and yeah, I mean, I'd love to help people out. And I think this game overall, it's not as great, I guess is the best way I can put it, as the PCG Live, but in some ways it's really cool. I love looking at all the new cards that, you know, if you're a big Pokemon fan like I am, like all these artworks and things are really cool. So you can kind of see the artworks are really legit. I mean, it's all digital, obviously, but they've got some really cool stuff. You know, they really did do some really cool artworks. This was one of them that I got in my God pack. It was really cool. I wish now that I had the Haunter, I want to play some stuff like this one too. Nidoking. Pretty cool. Well, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I really appreciate people stopping by and checking this out. Please let me know any thoughts that you have. Don't forget to, especially if you made it this far, please like, you know, subscribe. So many of my viewers are not subscribed. It's unbelievable how very few of my people that are watching my videos are subscribed. It's like, I want to say I'm in like the 80s or 90s percentage of the people watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, please do that for me. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And until next time,